Morning, folks. We were going to start raking this morning, but last night we got a little bit of a sprinkle. You can't tell it by looking here. It looks bone dry, but that hay really soaks it up, so it's going to take a little bit. Getting up to 95 today. Chance of storms, derecho, what they're talking about. That's straight line, fast wind. With this heat and humidity, you never know what's going to happen. So while we're waiting for the hay to dry, it's been 2 years since I've done an oil change on this thing, and we use it a lot. Pulling grain out of the bins, loading fertilizer spreader. And I was at the store the other day and got some oil and a filter. I don't really know the right way to do this. The plug is in a pretty silly spot right here. And then it just drains all over the machine. So then tomorrow I got the hail adjuster coming out, and I mentioned my crop out east. It's got spanked pretty good with hail. I'll get you some video of that, of the corn and the beans and the worst of it, and I guess we'll find out what they're gonna get me. I got $100 worth of hail insurance, and it costs about $3 to $5 an acre or so, like that. A lot of this grass in the slow ground is Reed's canary grass. It produces big tonnage. I've already plugged the rake twice. I'm gonna widen this out. You get too wide, it's hard for the baler to pick it up, but if I leave it this narrow, I'm just gonna have troubles on my own. Dad just gave me the signal that he's calling it. It's still a little bit wet down underneath here. I'm guessing because of that sprinkle last night. There's some spots that feel pretty tough. So Dad's just gonna sit in the tractor for a while and let this air out. Once I flip it, it's 90 degrees right now. Good breeze, so it should dry out pretty fast. The monitor's reading about 22 to 24%. 5-6% lower, and we'll be plenty dry. If you look in the way back, sometimes that just starts building up, and if you don't catch it, all of a sudden you look back there and you got this entire thing just full of hay, you're just dragging it. And then you lift up and pull away and you say, that's the problem for the baler. A couple weeks ago I washed out the radiator real good on this tractor. It was overheating before that. It was also a little low on coolant. And today, look at this, it's pretty hot out, we're not even halfway up the gauge. So I think what we did worked. Staying nice and cool. I got one pass left and Dad hasn't really started yet. He said the hay's getting close. I grabbed this ear from Dad's field. Looks pretty nice. It's really tall right here. I broke it a little. Good pollination. 16 around and I always break the tip off it. Doesn't usually pollinate or end up in the combine anyway, but 16 by 40, that's pretty good. We just need a rain. We haven't had a rain over 2/10 of an inch here in about a month, about 30 days. We did, of course, get the big rain that allowed this to have standing water in it a month ago, total of about 4.5 to 5 inches. But this corn, if we could get an inch or two really soon, it might be some pretty dang good corn.
All that hay going in that baler that fast kind of reminds me of when I eat ice cream.
With the chance of storms tonight, we could get some significant rain. That would be awesome. Just don't want the big wind they're talking about with it. I'm gonna unhook this tractor and rake, and Dad's gonna hop in it and start moving these bales to higher ground in case we do get a big soaker. Well, while. We're getting in some dry stuff, 10% moisture, and that bale weighed 1,547 pounds. That was a good one. Let's see what this bale weighed. That one was a little bigger. These couple of short passes is pretty much all we have left, and we're out of here. So far, we made 55 bales in this field. Our tractor's getting hot. I'm guessing it's plugged up in the radiator. Oh, yes, it is. Just let it cool off a bit. Just needed to clean out. If we would have cleaned out the radiator before we started, it would have been fine. This little baby bale will be counted as bale number 60, and it says we did just over 18 acres, so that's over 3 bales an acre. That's pretty good. From multiple meteorologists and storm chasers, they're talking about something nasty tonight, so we're gonna pile everything in the shed. Dad's gonna finish moving those bales out of the low ground. Right now, thinking about where the generators are, what we gotta do to get them running and get power going. Last bit of prep I gotta do, I'm gonna move this conveyor and set it up against these bales, so if the wind kind of makes it bobble, it'll have a soft landing. Soft brace there. They have set a possibility of over 100-mile-an-hour winds. In that case, we would be saying goodbye to all these bins, probably some buildings, and a lot of trees, but who knows what's gonna happen. Let's find out. So Dad actually has 2 generators here. I don't know, I want to say this is like 17 kilowatt, maybe 23. So that'll run a great deal. And then he's got an extra, and then I got a 17-ish or 19-ish kilowatt over at the farm. Just need tractors to run them. Seeing some lightning over there. Just kind of coming in. We're just starting to get some moisture. Wait till you look around the corner. Oh, that's dark over there. That's dark over there. It seems like it passed us. Really not much for wind or even rain. I can see some sunlight already underneath. I think at least right here at home we were spared. Hey folks, next morning we had 0 damage, very little wind, but we also don't even have a puddle, so that's, I don't know, you win some, you lose some. I've heard of some giant wind east of us. What does this say? 125 miles an hour. Wind gusts. That's incredible. There's some damage over east. Gonna go meet the insurance adjuster over at the fields, show him around, see what he has to say about our corn and beans. These are the worst of my beans, I think, and they actually do look a little bit better than they did 9 days ago when they got hail. That field south of here that I don't farm looks even worse than this. I mean, this used to be canopied, you couldn't see dirt, but now so many leaves got cut off. Then we pulled over to the south end, and look at that. It is just sticks, basically. Really, the only leaves are some of the new growth coming. Holy smokes. This is nasty. So that nasty stuff they were calling about almost 70% yield loss. It was way worse down there. Now let's go look at some corn. This should be my worst field of beans and my worst field of corn. Yeah, it's pretty tough. It's gonna be hard to fill this with about 80%, 90% defoliation. And also there's gonna be bruising on this ear. Oof, they're calling that 90% damage out there. Since the corn was at tassel, that's the worst time to get hail. That's why that payout is so much more, and the beans will vegetatively grow back a little bit. Well, we came to the next field. The corn's a lot better. It's really nothing knocked down. Still quite a bit of leaf damage. Some of the bottom leaves are actually almost fully intact. The mosquitoes are horrible. We got the moisture. Just need the factory solar panels here. These beans look a lot better than that first one, but you know, still got cut off, still got bruising, branch broken off. That last bean field looked pretty nice. They called that just 2% damage, and I don't disagree with that. And then that last big corn field, they called 20% damage. This one was, I think, about in the 30s. We'll just have to see at harvest how it turns out. Glad I bought insurance. Well, we got our bales made. We didn't get hit by a nasty storm last night. The adjuster came out, and some things are pretty nasty, some things not so bad. We'll just have to see at harvest. But I hope you enjoyed it. Love to see you next time. Have a good one. Holy smokes! It's really raining. Whoa. This wasn't in the forecast, but we'll take it. First significant rain in a month. That is coming down hard.